people, can I get a hello? Welcome to another episode of the Hello Effect Podcast. And me, your host, Zeke, aka Mr. Hello. So I was saying that these are things that I'm hearing. He's gonna take away like certain programs. You know what I mean? Like example, things that help the youth. You know what I mean? Maybe like after school program fundings and things like that. If that does happen, do you still feel like, oh well, like
No.
in a sense, like you know what I mean?
I feel like we got to give him a little more context to it, right? So like what he's talking about doing, he's not just talking about taking away, programs for after school people. He's talking about taking away funds from programs that are like dormant, like ain't got nothing going on. Like you got programs where, on paper, yeah, that is active, but ain't nobody been joining the after school program. 2 kids go to it, and 2 kids only been going to it for the last 2 years. Why do we still need this program? So yeah, let's shut this down. You know what I'm saying? What they want to do, they want to still keep getting the money for this program, even though nobody joining the program. He's shutting that down. All people that are like have unnecessary funds going to it, he wants to shut that down, which we should be behind. Let's take that money, reallocate that money to a program that actually got kids going to it. You know what I'm saying? Let's put that money and put that towards the volleyball program or the basketball or tennis, where kids are actually going to. You know what I'm saying? Let's start wasting money.
What about rental assistance and all that? You think he's gonna defund that type of thing? Because like I said before, like it's people that didn't have the same opportunities, they didn't have the same support system, and that need them programs. And I understand it is corrupt people in those programs, but why get rid of the program and not get rid of the people that's in the program?
Well, I think with the rental assistance program, I think he may, keep those assistance programs in certain areas. But you got to think about it like this too, right? Let's give you an example, right? Let's say you got somebody that works 2 or 3 jobs, right? So they can move somewhere nicer or better or more safer or whatever, right? And then you got somebody that's moving next door to you that ain't work as hard, but they got there because of a government assistance program. That's kind of not fair, you know what I'm saying? So you want to keep it, the people that work hard, that work their ass off to get there, you want to keep it like that, will give people something to work towards. You know what I'm saying? You want to work towards the American dream. You don't want to have it given to you by the government, because guess what? The government give it to you. Now you got to rely on the government to keep it. You know what I'm saying? And you didn't work your way to get there. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think that's fair. I don't think people that work their ass off to get there, because I know a few people like that, bust their ass, 2, 3 jobs, you know what I'm saying? So they can move their family to somewhere better. And then, a year later, somebody moving next door that, ain't work half as hard to get there. They there because of the government assistance program. That's not fair.
But how they ain't fair though? Like,
because you didn't work to get there.
I understand that, but what if I didn't have the same opportunities and the same resources? Like I said, like, say if like it was a situation where I just lost both of my parents, right, at a young age. There's nothing I could do about it. Like, I'm a kid, right? And I've been throughout the system. Like you, I don't know if you know anybody that been through the system. Like,
of course.
You know what I mean, adoption, you know what I mean, shit like that. And they get mistreated and shit like that. You know what I mean? And you get older. And you still having bad luck finding a job, and like I said, you don't have no real family to fall back on. Fuck me, I shouldn't be able to get that opportunity that is there put in place from the taxes.
No, you should not.
Why not though?
Because
you don't feel bad for me?
No, because you're a bum, and I mean you're a bum. You have a bum mentality. You understand? Like you talking about having it hard when you were a kid. Now you a grown ass man, your 30s, 40s. And you want to get put somewhere because you had it unfair as a kid? Like, no, you need to buckle up, put on your man shoes, and go to work.
But what if
improve your skill set? You know what I'm saying?
But
earn your way there.
My mental health ain't there though.
What if your what not there?
My mental health ain't there.
Then you need to go see a mental health therapist. You need mental help before you go move into the suburbs.
I don't have the money though for that though.
Oof, is that your neighbor's fault?
I'm not crazy in the sense I'm talking about mental health. Well, I'm just depressed. Now I'm going through some shit because I didn't grow up with my mother and my father because they wasn't there for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but putting you in a suburb area ain't gonna help you. You need to go to a mental health institution to get your life together.
So me being in the hood, you think that's gonna help me either?
Yeah, but that's not.
Fuck it, ain't our problem.
No, it's not that. It's not that. It's just that putting you
that nigga in the hood.
Yeah, but putting you in a nice area is not gonna help you. You need mental help.
I'm gonna tell you why it would help. I'm gonna tell you why it would help me, because it will motivate me.
That will motivate you?
Yes, being around people that got nice things, being around in the hood, that shit don't motivate no fucking body. That's why they still stuck in that motherfucker.
I don't think that will help you. I think that's the government giving you something. That's going to hurt you in the long run. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
it's gonna hurt you because we giving it to you. You're not working to earn it.
No, let me decide if it's gonna hurt me. Let this wait to the end of the story. Don't just say it's gonna hurt me. This way and see if it hurt me. Give me the opportunity.
So how old is this man that you're using the example that you putting in? You know what I'm saying? No, let's get some context to it. How old is this brother?
Let me just say he's 30.
30 years old.
30 years old. You know what I mean? Like I said, his parents died at a young age.
How old was he when his parents died?
He was fucking 7.
7 years old.
6 or 7. Fuck.
Okay.
Right? He was through the foster system. Everybody know that got people through the foster system know that the shit they go through. So that's already weighing on your mental health at that. You know what I mean? And if you don't have the right resources or nobody that gives a fuck about you, like i.e. a family member, you're going to get lost in the system. And you think all them fucking people that work in the system give a fuck about you? They just trying to get money. So let me say you get an opportunity, you know what I mean, to be on the what they be having, like it go by your income or some shit like that.
Yeah, income based
exactly
stuff. Yeah.
And you making more money, so let me get in with you. Why am I upset because I didn't earn it? You had the right to earn it. You had all both of your parents there. You had support system, and you probably had a wife to even support you even fucking more. So you had a good life. Okay. I didn't get them opportunities, so you don't feel like damn. I get that point, but now fuck him. He should be in the hood with the rest of the motherfuckers.
I think
that can motivate him. No, it ain't. It's gonna keep me in that motherfucker. I might start selling drugs.
Listen, if you choose to break the law because of your problems you had as a kid, your ass deserves to be in jail. You do not deserve to be living up in the suburbs with my man that worked 2-3 jobs, working a night shift to put his family in a better situation. He actually earned to get there. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think it's fair to the people that worked hard to get there to just put people there with government assistance next to them. You know what I'm saying? They didn't earn it.
But life ain't fair though.
Yeah, but you
agree with that?
Life not fair, so he should deal with his circumstance that life isn't fair to put him up there.
But they made them programs. Blame the people that put them programs in place. Who put these programs in place?
Because when you give people stuff, they don't appreciate it.
Well, who put these programs in place, though?
You got to let them work to earn it, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I work my ass off to get up here to move my family up to a certain neighborhood, I'm going to appreciate it more, right? I'm going to behave a certain kind of way because I don't want to lose it. If you just give somebody something with a government program, here you go, you got keys to this nice little condo, they're not going to appreciate that shit. That's not true. And they're going to get up there.
I can't agree with you.
And let's say what we all want to say. They're going to fuck up the neighborhood.
Nah, I can't
Let's
agree.
be honest.
I can't agree with
you.
They're
going to ruin the neighborhood.
I'm going to tell you why. Because some people already know they never had shit. So when they have shit, they don't want to fuck it up because they don't want to go back to not having shit. I'm going to leave that room open for that. You know what I mean? But I do get your point because people do get put in certain neighborhoods and fuck it up.
Oh, yeah.
Be littering, throwing shit out their car. I could never understand it.
Put them in jail. Throw them in jail.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I was to throw shit out the car, but as I'm an adult, I'm like, yo, why the fuck is nigga throwing shit? Throw it in the garbage.
Yup.
That's trifling, yo.
Yep.
Like
you fucking up our neighborhood. We live here. You know what I'm saying? But I saw a kid the other day. He was walking his dog, and I was just standing there watching him. His dog was shitting, and he started walking. Oh my man, where you going? No. You need a bag. Clean that shit up. We live here. You live here too. Why you want to have dog shit around where you live at? You know what I'm saying? You dirtying up the neighborhood. You got little kids running around playing. They might slip and fall. And now they got fall in your dog shit. You know what I'm saying? Clean that shit up. This is your neighborhood. You live here. Clean your own neighborhood. But back to what you were saying. Hell no. They should not be there. You know what I'm saying? Because I think about it like this. If you got a 30-year-old man, back to your example, 7 years old, his parents died, right? Yeah. And that's a tragic event. But he had 23 years to get his life together, right? Is this man working? Probably not. So now you're going to put a man in a nice area, in a nice house. He ain't got no job. He's not going to be able to afford to stay there anyway because he's not working to get there. You know what I'm saying?
Now, let's say he do have a job. That's what I'm trying to say. We going off of your income base.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because they got to keep certain people in there. I guess I don't know the reason why they do it, and I'm still trying to find out why would they put, for your example, somebody that's bust their ass and making a certain amount of money and somebody that just making this like a little bit amount of money, but why would they want that? I don't understand that and I don't know. But at the end of the day, it's there for a fucking reason.
Yeah, it is. I don't have a problem with that. Like you get certain complexes where, you know, they may be luxury like apartments or whatever,
that's what I'm saying,
townhomes, and that's fine. And they may have like allocate 1 or 2 apartments in the complex. Yeah. That's fine because you know that's 1 or 2 people, whatever, and it's also like this person, the people that get accepted for stuff like that, they have an extensive job history. I mean, they may have kept the job for a couple of years. That's what you want. You want responsible adults that have a work history. They may not make that much money, but they've been working. They've been making a positive contribution to society by working. You know what I'm saying? And they don't have no criminal record or nothing like that. So yeah, you don't have a problem sliding them into a community like that. They'll be able to blend in correctly.
So you talking about people that's like You know what I mean? Shaniqua. You know
No,
what I mean?
back
She
to
got
your
like 3
example with my
kids.
man that ain't had no job for 23 years because his parents died when he was 7. Hell no. I call the cops on that
Hold
nigga.
on, what about Shaniqua? That got, you know what I mean, 3 kids.
Oh,
you know
hell
what I
no.
mean? And she got the voucher
No.
for Section 8. She gonna move it where she want to.
No, hell no. Hell no.
Why shouldn't she be in there?
Huh?
She a single mom.
3 kids, single mom?
Yeah.
Where she work at? How long she been working?
You know, she been working for a minute. She got a decent job. At the end of the day, you know, Section 8 and the rental system give you vouchers to move in where you at, and they pay a percentage. Ain't that's how that shit work?
Yeah, I mean, if I work hard to live in a certain community and you say the word Section 8, my skin starts to itch. Like, that shit scared the shit out of me. That's like a goddamn horror film.
Damn.
That's Nightmare on Elm Street and shit. You know what I'm saying? Freddy Krueger and shit. I'd rather deal with Freddy Krueger than deal with a motherfucker on Section 8 living in my house.
Damn,
Yeah,
that's crazy.
because with Freddy, at least if you don't go to sleep, you be good. Niggas on Section 8, you can't avoid them motherfuckers. You see them motherfuckers in the mailroom,
I smell
parking lot, all kind of wild
yeah,
shit.
and I smell E&J and the
Yeah, weed and shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, man. Fuck that shit, man. That shit is crazy.
All right, so you know what I mean. I'm exhausted. You know what I mean. Talk about politics. We could talk about politics all day, all night, forever. But we gonna jump into this. You know what I mean. Just to stem off our last question when we talked about single moms, and because I feel like at the end of the day, this kind of correlates to politics or whatever. Because I feel like the single moms is getting affected the most by this. But my question is, how is it important for, you know what I mean, a man to be in a home?
Well, it's important because it creates structure for the kid. You know what I'm saying? It does when you have the mom and dad in the house, whatever. It does create some structure for the kid. Absolutely. But I mean, at the same time, if that's not able to happen for any reason, you got to find a way to persevere and make it through. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's millions of kids that have grown up to be successful without 2 parents in the home. It takes a little bit more work. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could be another parent that don't live in the home. Just, you got to be active though. Like, you got to put in a lot of extra work to make sure that you're super active if you're not in the home. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of extra work for the parent that's not in the home, but it can still be done. You know what I'm saying? And they're like, if you're out of the home, both parents got to put an extra super effort on working together. You know what I'm saying? But it is important to have a kid, 2 parents in the home, but it's not like an end all be all. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're not able to have that, because you're not able to have that all the time. You get parents that can't make it work, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's life. You know what I'm saying? But
what about the father being in the child life though? How's that important?
Well,
he ain't got to live there, but this being there, you know what I mean? That influence, you know what I mean? How is that important?
Fathers are super important, man, especially the kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, in my opinion, because mom, we love moms. You know what I'm saying? We appreciate moms.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's nothing like having your dad. You know what I'm saying? Like, your dad is like, it just does something to a kid's emotional, you know what I'm saying, well-being and psyche, mentally, you know what I'm saying? Like, be able to have your dad there, you know what I'm saying, coming to your fucking soccer game or tennis game, whatever the fuck you got going on, or somebody, I'm just gonna call my dad and ask my dad, you know what I'm saying? He knows everything. Kids think the world of their dad. So, it's important for the dad to be involved, absolutely.
Do you still feel, because I don't feel it's like that anymore. Like, I feel like kids, they don't really give a fuck about it, because, like, I'm going to be honest with you, the example of men's these days, it ain't really too much great examples. I'm not saying me personally, that I know people that's not good, because I'm fortunate enough to have friends that's all active in their kids' life. You know what I mean? Even though they might not be with their baby moms or their girlfriends or whatever, they still are fucking great dads and shit like that. You know what I mean? But I also feel like kids don't listen to their fathers. Like, they don't got no respect for their fathers because how these fathers are. How you feel?
Yeah, because a lot of fathers, just because you give your sperm and make the equation full to make the kid here, don't make you really a father. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, being a father comes from putting in time consistently. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to be there consistently. You know what I'm saying? You got to be picking up from school, dropping off at school, helping with homework, taking the fucking medical appointments, taking the fucking therapy appointments, taking the whatever the fuck you got to do. You got to be going to parent-teacher night. Like, that shit take a lot of work, a lot of energy. You know what I'm saying? And if you doing all of that, you trying your best to do all of that, then the kids will respect you.
Yeah.
Kids are not stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like, they respect effort. You know what I'm saying? They know when you only come around every once in a while, you bullshitting. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't really giving your all, and they feed off that energy. So, yeah, they're not going to respect you. You know what I'm saying? They appreciate you coming around every once in a while, but they ain't going to respect you as a father because you ain't really giving father energy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Do you know any, like, single dads, though? Like, you know what I mean? Because we always shed light on, like absent dads, but it's also absent moms.
Yeah.
Do you know anybody on these situations like that?
Yeah, because I know a few single dads. And to be honest with you, a single dad actually has a better outcome in raising a kid than a single mom.
Like, break that down.
So, like, if you get a kid that's living with their dad and the dad is raising the kid solely by himself primarily, the outcome for the kid is better than it is if the kid is living with mom by herself or mom with a stepdad. You know what I'm saying? It's something about the dad's structure that he's able to provide for a kid that makes a better outcome for their life. Yeah, and that's according to the U.S. Department of Statistics.
Yeah, because I never, like, heard of that. Like, you know what I mean? That's
because fathers make
shocking.
Yeah, fathers make great parents. A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah, that's what I'm
because
trying to say.
As a father, if you're a good father, that means you're a strong man. It means you're a responsible man.
Yeah.
Strong, responsible men don't clamor for attention, so they'll do what they need to do without, promoting it on social media or whatever. They just get the job done. You know what I'm saying?
So let me ask you a question. So why would you think it'd be an absent mom if the mom got to carry the baby and stuff like that? You know what I mean? So that's already a connection right there. You know what I mean? Through birth, giving birth and shit like that. What would be the reason you think a female would give her child up? My reason is she gotta hate that man so fucking much. You know what I mean? And she probably want to be with him, but he don't want to be with her and shit like that. Because I know situations like that where it's like, yo, I fucking hate you. They hate the kid, and the kid ain't do shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with you. And a lot of that, in my opinion, is a lot of women are selfish. Yeah, a lot of people don't want to talk about that.
What you mean by
a
like
lot of women are selfish? Like, a woman will sacrifice her family for her happiness. Yeah, a woman will come home one day and tell her husband she don't want to be married no more because she ain't happy. She ain't thinking about how that's going to affect the kids or whatever. You know what I'm saying? She get a new boyfriend or whatever, or a new life, or $1 million. She out. She'll leave the kids, father, husband, all that.
Even though she got a connection though at birth, like she carried this kid for 9 months. You know what I mean? So you'll just fuck it, like give it up.
A lot of women are selfish. Not all women, but a lot of women are really selfish, and that's starting to come to light a lot nowadays. Because you got more men that's stepping up and doing what they need to do. You know what I'm saying? And women, not all women, but a lot of women are selfish, man. A lot of women are selfish. They'll say fuck that.
So selfish in the sense of like
it's all about them. They not thinking about a lot. Back in the day, you would get a woman that would sacrifice their happiness for the betterment of the kids. You know what I'm saying? They'll stay in this marriage when they not fucking happy because they know that's what's the best for their kid. You know what I'm saying? Their kid coming home to the mother and the dad and all that bullshit, having the father around, not having too many men around, coming around their daughters and shit like that and their sons. You know what I mean? They would stick it out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Nowadays, you ain't getting that. Women, they ain't doing that. They out. They choosing themselves and their happiness, and it's Women Day and all that.
So they leave their kid like with the dad, like fuck it, you go live with your dad, and I'm gonna be single. But why though? What type of mindset is that, and what type of example is that? I mean, let's think about it. Fuck having a son, but think about it as if you the mom and you have a daughter. What type of example is that to your daughter?
Well, you got to look at it like this. You got to give full context, right? Because there may be different situations. There may be situations where the mom may be selfish. There may also be situations where mom is clashing with the little girl daughter, right? Because sometimes when girls get older, they get into that teenage age, they start clashing with mom. And mom's like, you know what? Go live with your fucking dad. Let your dad deal with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's your father. Let him take it over now. You know what I'm saying? And then they work it like fucking Boys in the Hood. When the fucking dad, when the son went to go live with the dad, mom was like, you know what? You getting in trouble in school, go stay with your dad. You know what I'm saying? And dads are stepping up and taking over. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
like
that's different. That's what I'm saying. I get the
that's not the same as a mother being selfish, though. That's the mother looking at the big picture and looking at what's in the best interest of the kid. What's in the best interest of the kid may be for you to go live with your dad right now.
Yeah, because he's a boy. Because that's what I'm about to say. You know what I mean? I feel like that type of woman probably know that, that little boy, since he get in trouble at school, is better to be raised by a man. Like, you know what I mean? He might need that type of structure. He might need to be chastised. But I'm saying, like, far as a little girl. Like, you know what I'm saying? She had a daughter.
Girls too.
I ain't never had no girl.
Yeah.
Like, I'm talking about at a young age. Like, go live with your father.
Nah, girls too. Especially when they get to that teenage age. They start clashing with mom because now it's like,
talking back and all that shit.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It was like, you know what? Go stay with your dad. And your dad like, I got it. Don't worry about it. I got it from here.
All right, so talk about the selfish part then, since that wasn't selfish.
Well, no, some women are selfish. Some women are choosing their happiness over all that bullshit. And they saying fuck it. And then you got some mothers like, you know what? They're not selfish. They just saying, you know what? It's better for you to go live with your dad at this point in your life. You know what I'm saying? Because me and you ain't getting it. I'm tired of yelling and screaming at you and tired of fucking locking you in your room and taking your phone and all that bullshit. Go stay with your fucking dad. And dad like, all right, I got it from here. That's not selfish. That's just looking at what's in the best interest of the kid.
So what's selfish though? That's what I'm saying. What is selfish? Like, give me an example of somebody that's being selfish. Like, yo, fuck it. I don't want to deal with none of this shit. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna do this and do that.
Well, selfish is if you get you talking about single moms?
Yeah.
Yeah, you get a single mom that's raising a kid and they saying, you know, fuck this. I ain't dealing with this. Go stay with your dad. I'm fucking moving to another state. Or I'm taking a job at, 300, 400 miles away or whatever. Like, or I'm going on vacation with my new man.
Well, I about to say, what if she wanna is an example like that? She want like, yo, go live with your dad, cause my man, he don't want no kids.
That's also selfish. That's selfish. That's very selfish. And then, but at the same time, at least she's giving the dad opportunities and doing what's best for the kid. Cause at that point in time, what's best for the kid is for her to go stay with her dad.
Nah, the best day to be a kid, fuck that nigga and raise your motherfucking daughter.
No, because
so you don't believe in somebody putting their kid first?
No, because you gotta look at the situation, right? If I'm a woman, and I'm not a woman, but if I'm a woman, for an example, I got a kid, a 13-year-old, 14-year-old, a teen.
I ain't talking about the teenagers. I'm talking about like small ones.
Okay, even if you got a small kid, right? You got a small kid, daughter or son, right? And you got a new man now, right? And you got a dad that you're not living with, you're not together, but dad is responsible. He's active in the kid's life. And you say, you know what? I wanna, entertain this life with this new man that I have. Go stay with your dad. Long as you set it up and everything is good, your child is gonna be safe. And you know dad gonna take care of the kid because dad is a good dad, right? Because you gotta think about yourself in that point because kids grow older, right?
I understand that, yeah.
They leave the house.
Yeah.
Who's left there? It's you and your fucking husband. The Bible says husband and wife come before the kids. You see what I'm saying?
But you said husband.
Yeah.
You gotta start boyfriend and girlfriend and shit before you could become a husband and wife.
That's true, but you don't get to husband and wife unless you have a good boyfriend and girlfriend relationship.
Yeah, but if you
gotta get there.
If you got a good boyfriend and girlfriend relationship, no grown ass man would tell you to have your kid move in because this a fucking this a combo.
What you mean move in?
Like I'm talking about like I put an example where like yo, the baby mother be like, nah, move with your dad because my new man don't want kids and shit like that.
Yeah, but once you do that, kid ain't never going back to mom, live with mom. She's with dad permanently after that.
Yeah,
so
but why would you
even if that relationship don't work out, too bad. Kid is staying with dad at that point.
That's the point.
Yeah.
So the point.
Long as you know that and you okay with that, fine, do it. Live with your man.
But why
see the kid on weekends?
Why would you choose your somebody over your kid? That's what I'm saying.
Because you gotta think about it like this. She probably thinking about she being a little selfish, and I'm not mad at that because at the end of the day, like I said, kids grow older, they do their own thing, they have their own lives. They go to college, they may start working, they may go to the military. They're doing their own thing, and now you there by yourself. You know what I'm saying? You want companionship. You know what I'm saying?
That's when
if you got another parent where you can go live with,
go live with them. Nah, fuck that. That's when you start. When that person is old enough to do those things, that's when you start. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Unfortunately, that's how life is.
I agree with you, but I'm not mad at that, though. Like, I'm not mad at mom being selfish at that. And she's saying, you know what? It's best for you to go live with your dad. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's best for you to go live with your dad.
That's probably on some one kid shit. If she got multiple kids, you okay with that? If that was you, like
it would be what is dad okay with? If he okay with, you know what, bring my kids over here, I got them, don't worry about it, then fine.
So what happens to a scenario where you got a girlfriend and she don't want that? Like, nah, yo, you can't bring, like, nah, our life gonna change up now. Because at the end of the day, in most cases, right, the kid live with the mom, right? Mm-hmm. All right, so like I was saying, like in most case scenarios, like the kid live with the mother, you know what I mean, according to the system standards and stuff like that. So what if it was a situation where you had a girlfriend or significant other, you know what I mean, y'all been living together for a couple of years and shit like that, and y'all used to a certain lifestyle, like, you understand what I'm saying? Then one day your baby mother like, nah, I got a new boyfriend, you know what I mean, he's about to move in, he don't want to deal with no kids, so your daughter got to move with you. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? How would you feel about that?
As the dad, I will welcome that because I won't want to remove my daughter from that type of environment anyway. where you got a mother that would choose her boyfriend over her kid, she don't need to be over there anyway, or he don't need to be over there anyway if he was my son. Come stay with dad. You know what I'm saying? And my girlfriend, whoever I'm with, if she got the wife mentality where she is about to be my wife, she would agree with that. Like, you know what? Yeah, baby, bring them over here. They come stay with us. We got it from here.
I mean, I agree with you, and I definitely feel that is true. But I feel like the world we live in, that type of scenario is not happening with no type of backlash. You know what I mean? Because I don't feel like everybody just gonna be up like, yeah, okay. They're gonna want to know the circumstances. Like, yo, why? You know what I mean? Then they're gonna be thinking about like, damn, yo, I gotta do this and do that. You know what I mean? That situation. But I also do believe it matters about how much time you was with that person also too.
What do you mean, time with what person?
Like say if you live with your girlfriend or whatever. Like if y'all was only together for like 6 months or a year, you know what I mean? She might be like, nah, hell no.
Then she not a wife.
So you gonna automatically break up with her after that?
She not a wife. If she was
a break up with her though.
If she was a wife, she would be okay with that. She would be okay with that. She would be okay with your kid coming to live with us full time, baby. We got it. Because you know what? I'm in this to be your wife. I'm in this for you to be my husband. So we got to take your kid on. Yeah, let's get her out, get them out of that environment and have them come stay with us. That's fine. We got it from here. We don't need mom. I don't want to be chasing men around. Do what you got to do. We got it. Come on. We got it.
So you ain't go. So the mom is off the hook pretty much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. If you want to be a bum and chase around some nigga, then go do what you got to do. The kid can come stay with us. We got it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. So you said the wife, she just got to be okay with it.
If she's a wife, she would be okay with it because you know I got kids when you started dating me. So how you gonna get mad because my kid coming and I'm taking responsibility to raise my kid now? You gonna be my wife. So what you thought was gonna happen? You know what I'm saying? I mean, she should be on board with that if she's a wife.
I mean, yeah.
Because there's a difference between girlfriend and wife. Girlfriend is somebody to come over, have sex with you, go to movies, maybe take a couple trips together. A wife is like, okay, let's do what's in the best interest of your child. Because if you're happy, if your child is happy, you're not gonna be happy if you're worrying about your child over at mom's house dealing with the fucking new boyfriend. So let's get her over here or get him over here in a safer.
That's not your wife yet, though. You say it's your girlfriend.
But if you have wife mentality, you saying, listen, let's get that child out of that environment over here into our environment where they're going to be safe and cared for correctly. Safe and cared for. You living with her?
Wife mentality, they want rings, though.
But you living with her.
They want rings.
Are you living with her? We get this kid over in a safe environment, then we'll be good.
True or false, though? You want somebody to have a wife mentality but no ring on their finger. If they have wife mentality, that woman should be your wife already.
Yeah, that's probably coming. That's probably coming.
Yeah, but
if you living together,
that's the point. That's getting to my next point. It's coming, but it's not there. So she's not obligated, even though she has wife material. If you want me to think like a wife, make me your wife.
Yeah, but you my girlfriend, right? So.
Yeah, I'm doing girlfriend shit. No, I don't want nobody in here.
Yeah, well, you ain't got to be here. You can bounce. Oh, you thought you had to stay? You ain't got to stay. You going to get mad at me because I'm handling my responsibility as a man and raising my kid? You should want that in a husband. But you should support that as a wife in your husband. If you got a problem with that, then you ain't the woman for me anyway. You need to go.
But you said your wife. That's not your wife.
Girlfriend, if you should want that in your husband, man that you're dating, you a grown ass woman. You dating the man, you should be dating the man to become his wife, not some girlfriend boyfriend shit forever. Wait, so if you should want your man, potential husband, to take on responsibility and raise his kid if that comes. If you have a problem with that, then you're not a wife mentality wise. So you in the wrong relationship anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
So if you mad at me because now I'm raising my kid full time in my house and you like, oh, I don't want to do that, then you selfish anyway. You ain't gonna be a good stepmom anyway.
Now that person ain't mad at you. It's just like, yo, like this shit is just coming out of nowhere. So you want me to change my lifestyle just for you, and you ain't even making your fucking wife yet? You want me to do wifey shit, but you ain't put no fucking ring on it. You know what I mean? If you already know I'm fit to be a wife, what's the hold up for?
The key word you said in that whole thing was my. You want me to change my lifestyle. You trade the my's for us when you become somebody's potential wife. No. So no, wait. So you dating somebody, you say you want me to change my life because your kid is coming over here. If you want to be my wife one day, you want me to be your husband, this comes with it. You want me to leave my kid out there and a parent that don't want them when they could come over here and stay with us?
Nah, but I understand what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
But you thinking about is your kid. That's the point. I understand the point you're making. I clearly understand the point that you're making. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, that's your problem. True or false?
If you thinking like that, you definitely not a wife. No. You out of here.
No, not
you doing me a favor by revealing your true self.
No. I'm trying to make an example. Like, because at the end of the day, you do date to marry. We know that.
Yeah. And this person has a child.
No, look, I'm gonna make an example. But at the end of the day, dating is a sense of an interview to see if you get the wife job. True or false?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I'm not your wife yet. So why you trying to have me do wife shit? What if it don't work? Oh look, let me say something. What if he don't lead her? What if he never get married and I did all his wife shit?
You don't have to do it though. You can bounce.
Why I gotta bounce though?
Because this is my kid, and my kid needs me.
That's the point.
And my kid is coming to stay with me. So if
where's
you want
the empathy for the other person?
What other person? You a grown ass woman. You ain't got to stay here. If you ain't with it, you can go.
That's fucked up.
You expect me to leave my kid in an environment where they not wanted?
No, that's fucked up.
You expect me.
What if this our shit though?
Yeah, but
it's ours. We bought this shit together. We bought this house together.
If it was the other way around, and I'm dating you, and you a woman, and your son, your dad don't want nothing to do with him, am I going to get mad at you because your son is coming to live with us now?
You might, but this is my point. You don't have a.
That's not a husband.
No. What I'm saying is you have a right to do it. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. You know what I mean? In the human sense, yes, you be like, yo, you know what? Yeah, we ain't gonna leave her. She want to be a fucking chase niggas around. Yeah.
Let her go.
Yeah, that's different. But what if that person, like I said, like, look, yo, ain't enough. First of all, ain't enough space in here for all of us.
I ain't enough space. We got 2 bedrooms.
What if y'all got 1 bedroom?
No, well, if the kid come over regularly, you should have 2 bedrooms anyway.
I'm just saying.
So it ain't no problem. So instead of just coming over every other weekend or every other week, they here full time now.
So it don't even matter.
It shouldn't matter. That shouldn't.
So you would it. So you would it either too.
If you seeing the kid regularly, then they already should have some sort of relationship with your woman anyway. You know what I'm saying? They should have some sort of bond relationship anyway.
They don't mean they're gonna have a bond though. They got a relationship. Hey, how you doing? Because a lot of people, they mother, they father, they resent them. Like, I don't fuck with that person like that. You ain't my dad.
Yeah,
you ain't my mother. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, you get that sometime, but in order for you, okay, I'll put it like this. If you dating somebody and you have a child, if the person you're dating doesn't make a good effort to have a good relationship or a decent relationship with your kid, then you can't marry that person. You can't do it. Because if I want to be with you and I really want to be with you, I love you. And I love everything that is a fruit from you if I love you. And the fruit from you is your child. So I'm going to make an effort to have a good relationship with your child. I'm not going to try to overstep my boundaries over their dad. I'm not going to do that. But what I'm going to be a responsible adult, someone you can look to for advice, guidance, somebody that's going to look out for you when you're around me in my care or with me and your mom. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to look out for you. And as an adult that looks out for you, that cares for your mom, and you a fruit of your mom, I'm going to care for you too when you're in my presence. So if you ain't doing that, you ain't making that type of effort, then don't even waste your time with somebody like that because they're not a husband or they're not a wife. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion.
Yeah, not for you. So let me ask you a question. So when it comes to dating, you know what I mean, how do you feel like bringing people around your children? You know what I mean? Like, is that a good thing?
I don't think it's a good thing. I think, it depends. Like, having multiple people around your kid, dating in and out, that's not a good example because your kid pick up on that shit. Kids are smart. You know what I'm saying? They think that it's okay to do that. It's okay to live that type of lifestyle.
Well, I'm saying let's take away the sleeping part. I'm just saying dating because, like, you're not obligated to date one person. Like, you understand what I'm saying? You're looking for the better person that you want to be with. Like you say, you date somebody to be your wife or your husband. Like, you understand what I'm saying? It's because you might meet this person. You know what I mean? Y'all might have a connection or chemistry. Don't mean that's the person for you at the end of the day.
Yeah, I feel like you date people, you talk to people every here and there.
No, I'm talking about you just meet somebody. That's what I'm talking about. Like, say you meet somebody at fucking at Target. You know what I mean? Like you said last time. Like, you know what I mean? You usually meet people at Target and shit.
Word.
Right? So you don't really know that person. You got to get to know that person. You might go on a couple of dates and shit with that person. The first date might be good. The second date, it might go left. Mm-hmm. So you're going to stop talking to that fucking person. Yeah. That's what I'm trying to say. Like,
well, you shouldn't have brought them around. 2 dates ain't enough to bring them around your kid. So I wouldn't.
What if you the type of person where you can't get no babysitter? Like you said, your daughter live with you or something like that. So when are you gonna have time to really date?
I feel like, when you interview the person, you ask them questions, where you work, how long you work, what's your family dynamic like, whatever. You get a good sense. Okay, if this person is good on paper, now let's get a couple dates in to see how we vibe with each other, energy wise, whatever. After like 3-4 months, okay, this is somebody I might be able to bring around my kid or whatever, and you might. Arrange where y'all meet up at the movies together, go to a movie together, or meet up at a fucking TGI Fridays or some type of restaurant together, have lunch together, and get to talk a little whatever to meet each other. And you don't have to introduce them as my lover. You don't have to tongue kiss them at the table. You know what I'm saying? Hey, this is mommy's friend Larry, or this is dad's friend Stephanie, or some shit like that. You know what I mean? Like, you introduce them as friends, and you get the vibe from there. You ain't got to be in like full relationship mode in front of your kid. But I do feel like everybody doesn't get that privilege to meet your kid.
I was about to say that.
Like, you know, certain people are better candidate or good candidates enough to meet your kid. You know what I'm saying? And it's catchy because you don't want to date somebody for a year, 2 years, 3 years, and then have them meet your kid, and then they don't vibe good with your kid. You just wasted 3 years because you can't be with somebody that don't have a good connection with your kid. You can't do it. So, you know, you probably would try to encourage that sooner than later. I would say, like, you know, 3 to 6 months, whatever. You want to bring them around for lunch or whatever. Y'all meet up, go get ice cream or some shit together. Take a walk at the park together, whatever. And you introduce them as your friend and get the vibe from there. You go from there and see how it goes. Yeah.
Because I'm about to say that's true. You can't bring everybody around your kids. You know what I mean? Because like, especially in this day and age, people change just like this. You know what I mean? Like, and you don't want to be like, oh, this is my friend. Then this is my friend. This is my friend. Especially if you raising a daughter at the end of the day. Because it's like, yo, damn, my dad been around all these females and shit like that. That it's okay for me to have guys around. My dad was doing it with girls and shit like that.
Yeah,
so.
And mom too. Like, you know, as a mom, I can't speak for women, but as a mom, I would think that, you know, you got to be careful about what kind of man you bring around, you know, your kid and stuff like that. And if dad is in the picture, y'all might not be dating, but dad is actively involved in the kid. Oh, you might have a problem with dad bringing another man around. You know what I'm saying? Like, he gonna want to get involved. He gonna want to talk to this guy or whatever. And let me tell you, I know a lot of moms try to, no, that's my man. Leave my man alone. Ain't nothing you could do about it.
I was about to say,
you only gonna make it worse. You only throwing lightning fluid on the motherfucking grill. I'm telling you right now, because a dad that's actively involved, that care about his kid, and he find out there's another man in the house with his kids, daughter or son, he gonna want to have to talk with your little boyfriend. And ain't shit you can do about it.
How you feel about that? That's what you standing on? Yeah, like I was saying though, like, are you standing on business, like, far as that? Like, you said that, because obviously you're not with your baby mother or whatever. I don't know if she got a boyfriend, but if she had a boyfriend, would you make that same type of approach that you just mentioned?
Absolutely. I think, you know, like, as a dad or as a grown man, you should respect that. Like, if you are dating a woman and she has a kid and there's a dad around, actively involved, whatever comes around, you should make it your business to have a decent relationship. You ain't got to be best friends with the motherfucker, but you should make it your business to want to have a conversation, have a cordial relationship where y'all can communicate with each other and stuff like that, because you around the kid, you know what I'm saying? And the dad is still around. So if you make it where it's like, oh, I'm not going to, you're going to have a contentious relationship with dad, you only going to make it worse. Because every time dad see you, now it's going to be a problem, you know what I'm saying? Instead of, dad like, oh, what up, Jerome, or what up, Dan, or whatever the fuck your name is, you know what I'm saying? Y'all got a decent relationship. Y'all can work together. But when you start off, like, when you gonna, like, disrespect dad ain't going for that shit. You're gonna have a problem. I'm telling you right now, you're gonna have a serious problem. And I'm not just talking for myself. I'm talking about the majority of men that are fathers. They ain't going for that shit. So to avoid that, because I've been on the other end of that, where I've dated women where they had kids and baby daddy was around, whatever, but I always gave them that respect because I would want somebody to give me that respect as a dad, you know what I'm saying? So I will always reach out to them and give them the respect. They want to talk to me, okay, let's talk, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I'll listen to whatever concerns you got because I feel where you're coming from, you know what I mean? So I gave them that respect and we never had a problem. I never had a problem with no one's father.
That's what's up.
Yeah, so never. Because I always give them respect. You know what I'm saying?
What if they don't want to talk, or your baby mother don't want you to meet your boyfriend and shit like that?
I feel like as a man, that's when you need to check your woman. Okay. You need to check your woman because I get it. You don't want none of the bullshit, whatever. But I'm a grown man, and this is the manly thing to do as a responsible man, adult. If there's a dad around in the picture, you need to make it where you have communication with dad. You have a certain level of respect and a decent relationship where y'all can work and communicate with each other, or be able to get things done in the betterment of the child. Because a lot of times women make things worse by trying to get in the way. You know what I'm saying? Because all she's doing is throwing light and fluid on the grill. Like I said before, you're making it worse. You trying to protect this man. This is a grown ass man. You got to step in here and protect him. He can't have a conversation with another grown man, the child's father. He can't do that.
I think I know why. Because I think either party been telling fucking lies on that other person and make that person be like a piece of shit, because people they want somebody to be on their side.
Yeah, I get that. But like I said, because like I said, I was on the other end of that, and I told my ex that I was dating that had a child. I told her, I said, listen, one time I had the kid with me, and I was like, listen, and the dad was looking for the kid because he was supposed to make the drop off to the kid, and I had the kid with me. And I would say, you know what, give me dad's number. I'll call him, you know what I'm saying, because I have his child in my car, you know what I'm saying? Oh, no, I don't want to do that. Listen, let me get his number. I'll call him. I have his kid in my car. He should have my number. You know what I'm saying? I'm driving around with his kid in his car.
That's a fact.
He should have my number. So I called him and I said, listen, bro, I'm on my way. I'm about 20 minutes out right now. I'm on 78 or whatever highway I was on. I'm like, yo, I'm headed right to you. You know what I'm saying? This is my number. Save it. I got you. He's like, all right, bro, I'll see you when you get here. Got there, whatever. I got out. First thing I did was I reached out, shook his hand. I said, yo, I introduced myself. I'm Jermaine. This thing, he's like, I know who you are, whatever. And I'm like, all right, I know. As a father, you should know who the fuck I am. You know what I'm saying? And I shook his hand, and we was chopping it up for a little bit, and the baby was in the back seat. The kid was in the back seat with the windows down, smiling, happy to see dad. And I was just chopping it up. I told him, I said, listen, you know, I plan to be around, whatever, but, you know, I'm not going to disrespect you at all. You know, you the dad. I'll give you your respect as such. If you need anything, you want to reach out to me, you got my number, you call me anytime you want. And he, you know what he said to me? He said, you know what? Yo, I respect that. And I thank you for that. And we shook, gave each other a little bullshit hug. And he reached around, went in my car and got his daughter and hugged her. And I said, I'll see you guys later. And ever since then, we had a good relationship. No problems.
That's what's up.
No problems. And every relationship not going to be like that. But I feel like as a grown man, you're dating a woman that has a child, you should at least make the attempt. Because listen, everybody can't be a stepfather or a stepmother. It takes a certain level of maturity to be a step parent, right? You got to be a really mature adult. You got to give suggestions that benefit everybody in the equation. You can't give suggestions that only benefit the person that you're dating, because you can make a situation worse like that by adding your 2 cents. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. When you get baby daddy or baby mama like, who the fuck is this bitch? Mind your fucking business. When if you got to listen to the totality of the situation. You got to say, listen, you know, I thought about it, whatever. I'm thinking, well, let's try this. That way it could benefit this person, it could benefit that person, it could benefit the kid, you know, everybody involved. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to be somebody, you should be the person that they can lean on. Because sometimes baby mother, baby daddy, they're going to have clashes. And if you get a good relationship, you say, you know what, yo, what Eric think? Let's talk to Eric, man. Eric, this and that. He like, well, you know, I feel where you come from. I think maybe let's try it like this. That way everybody can. You need to be a help. You can't be an agitator, and you can make the situation a whole lot worse if you are an immature person trying to be a stepdad or a stepmom. You know what I'm saying? And that's not going to benefit anybody.
That's what I'm about to say. What happens if the mom or the dad is a piece of shit, though? Like, you understand what I'm saying? Because you can't help who you meet. Like, you understand what I'm saying? What if the female that you dating, this so happened when she was younger to have a baby by a piece of shit? Mm-hmm. Like, you know what I mean? How would your approach be then? How would you be able to be it? Or would you stop messing with that female because at the end of the day, you can't deal with her baby father in a sense, because that's gonna be that person gonna be in her life at least to the kid is 18 years old, like, respectfully. So how would your approach be different if that guy then open you with open arms in a sense? He be like, nah, fuck out of here. Who you? Why you calling me? Like, why you like, man? Why the fuck you got my daughter in your fucking car?
Yeah, see, I think every approach should be different. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a little different with it. Like, I can be like confrontational when I need to be. Yeah. So I'm more with like face-to-face meetings. Yeah. So I would treat him the same as I would treat a baby father that's not a piece of shit. Okay. And I would let him dictate how I treat him from there after that, about how he treat me, how he responds to my treatment. You know what I'm saying? But I'll give him the same respect. Eye contact. Hey, listen, this is who I am. Whatever. You know, I'll give him the same respect. If he choose, oh, fuck you, fuck out of here, and all that bullshit, then, you know what I mean, it might go left from there. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna give him that respect initially, and I'll let him dictate how our relationship go from there. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah.
All right, man. This concludes today's episode. You know what I mean? We touched on, highlighted, you know what I mean, Donald Trump back in office. We touched a little bit on relationship or whatever. And I'm pretty sure my boy be back on the pod. You know what I mean? I'm very interested to see these comments, you know what I mean, on how you feel. You know what I mean? But don't hurt the man. He have a right to his own opinion, like, respectfully, yo. Thanks for tuning in to the Hello Effect podcast. Make sure you subscribe. Like the channel. Any artists out there or any business owners that looking for any type of promotion on a podcast, make sure you email us at the Hello Effect Podcast at gmail.com. Y'all stay safe out there. Hello? If you're not subscribed to the YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube. Make sure you follow all the socials, the topics and discussions we be talking about. This is another episode of the Hello Effect with me, your host, C, aka Mr. Hello.